Maybe we were cursed from the start.
If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer and credits scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I am Russ.
I'm Jared.
Cursed from the start. And we're back for part 2. Tarot 2024.
That's right.
We're dealing the deck right now.
What a movie.
What a movie.
Listen, in case you forgot, Russ didn't take notes, so...
Yeah, the second half is going to get a little interesting here.
A little dicey.
I'm relying on Thais's note-taking here, abilities. I think early on I said, hey, you take great notes, but now I'm looking at it, I'm like, not really. So,
yep.
Perfect.
I
love you, but this is going to be an interesting. There's a lot of emojis in here.
Yeah, well, you asked for that. You said, I hope there's a lot of emojis, so...
I mean, yeah, but...
Yeah, you're right. Sometimes it can get a little excessive. And my notes, I think, for part 2, I think I stopped dividing up the scene so much. So
nice.
A lot of things are going to run together.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see.
We get a few long ones.
Yeah, me too. Let's piece this all together. Okay, so we're on a road trip. We're going to find Alma, astrology lady, right?
Yep.
They dug her up on the old internet because that's what you do. You Google search someone and then you just go to their house. That's what you do. Okay. You just look someone up on the internet, you find an address, and you just show up at their door. Yep. Don't actually do this, but
please don't do that.
Please don't do that.
Yep.
In the movie world,
they do like
in the movie world.
In the movie world,
yeah. Just Google someone, just show up at their house in the woods. It's okay.
People love that.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So they're like, meanwhile, they're like kind of making it obvious on the road trip here that the team is starting to buy a little bit more into the whole tarot thing after their friends' deaths.
Yes.
And they're starting to believe, seemingly, except for Grant. He's still kind of like, I don't know, you guys. We probably shouldn't find some random lady's house on the internet and go there.
Yeah,
and
let's not do that.
You, Grant. Is basically what they're saying. If it wasn't PG-13, that's what they would have said.
So they're going to look for this lady who they think maybe possibly made the cards or something. I think
she's connected.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
They pulled down some road. Apparently, I left to go get a beer at this point, so I missed some stuff.
That's right.
Thais said I missed some big orgy. Was there a big orgy at this point that I missed?
There was a huge orgy in the woods. They kind of just drove by it. It was weird, but yeah.
Then they end up in the evil cabin here. This lady's place.
Yeah. Well, they knock on the door, and she's like, "You can't come in." And then they're like, "Please." And she's like, "Okay,
all right." She opens the door. She's
and
like,
so then. This scene is so long, and yeah, she's wicked creepy unnecessarily. And they're like, "Well, who did the readings?" And Haley's like, "Me."
I did.
And they're like, "Well, what was the deck that you like? How was your deck? Show it, like whatever." And she's like, "I don't have it with me." She's like, "Describe it to me." And she's like, "Did it look exactly like this description that I'm telling you right now?" And Haley's like, "Oh my God, how did you know?"
Yeah.
And then. I hate this scene because this is why I wrote my notes this way. It was so long. So she's like, Mexico City, 1951.
Aren't they looking at news clippings too? Like they're like looking at like articles or news clippings she had or something like that?
No, they're not looking at anything, but like they show us news clippings of things. Like it's very exposition. Just like the woman then explains the whole plot of the movie for us. Thankfully.
Oh yeah.
So
there's a note here where it says Russ hates all the exposition.
Yes. So there's like flashback, 6 mysterious deaths in 6 hours in Mexico after their cards were read by somebody with the spooky deck. And then she's like, 1969, Woodstock, 8 people are dead after reading their horoscope. London, 1988, friends together for a weekend trip, and only one of them walks away alive.
What?
And all of these incidents happen because of the same deck. And they're like, how do you know all this? And she's like, I was the one who survived in London. And you're like, wait.
So you murdered all your friends?
How old were you in 1988? You seem like you're 100 now.
Yeah. So you killed them. So you killed them. Is that what happened?
Yeah. Yep, that's right. And so she did everything. She did everyone's reading except her own, and that's why she was the only survivor, seemingly. Because as soon as you have your cards read with this cursed deck, you die. And the deck got sold to somebody else who is a collector of decks of things, and I've been searching for it ever since in order to be able to destroy it.
Is this where we get the flashback to like the whole thing of the witch being killed and creating the cards, or is that later?
Yeah, that's in a couple minutes. So
Okay.
then
All right, yeah.
you're right.
Okay.
You're totally right. That's the
All
next part of the scene. So basically, she does a bunch more exposition about how thousands of years ago, horoscopes were the only tools anyone could use to understand the world around them. And you're like,
Jesus. Stop,
what?
man.
What an asinine sentence. And like people figured out that horoscopes are the most powerful form of divination known to man.
I hate that. I hate that way. I hate that
Stop
divination.
it.
I hate that divination. I hate that. Stop saying that word. I hate that.
Oh,
Ugh.
speaking of divination,
Yeah, hit me.
I've got some random divination facts for you.
Oh god, I hate that word.
As good a time as any. I'm going to say it a lot, apparently. Why do you hate that word?
I don't know. There's
It's
something
kind of
about it. I don't know. Divination. I don't know. There's something about it.
Ooh, I think it's kind of fun.
Okay.
So, before the historic, speaking of 1969, you know what else happened in 1969? The Apollo 11 moon landing. Moon much. um, and apparently, NASA engineers decided to consult some unconventional methods in order to be successful because you're friggin' trying to land on the moon. That's super scary. Can you imagine?
No.
Being the first person to go to the moon? No, it sounds horrifying.
Yeah, absolutely. So lonely.
So they even consulted this form of modern divination known as
Divination.
astrocartomancy, which is using tarot cards to interpret astrological influences.
Okay.
So not dissimilar from what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Apparently, one specific session that the Apollo 11 astronauts were doing, apparently somebody predicted that they were going to have a bunch of minor technical glitches, but that things would be okay.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, the team decided to call this the Tarot's moon joke. I don't know why.
What the hell is going on right now?
Like, who wrote that down in history?
don't know.
Why would you do that?
What's going on?
But anyway, yeah, that's that.
All right. Similar stuff. Similar stuff here.
Then we do the witch stuff. Yeah.
From Thais' notes here. Hi, Thais here. She's breaking the fourth wall a bit. If they make
boy.
more movies, I bet they will cover the Woodstock incident, the Mexico incidents, maybe even the London one. Emoji.
Great idea.
Yeah. During the backstory about the cards, Russ says it's getting ridiculous. And I think I was like, I was into cursed tarot cards, and she said I was a fool for that. So
That makes sense. Yeah. And so that's when they talk about this woman's backstory. They're like, well, in Hungary, and you're like, that's not Serbia, but okay.
Okay.
They're like, there's the story of the astrologer, and they just call her the astrologer. And so it's this peasant woman with a real knack for horoscopes. And one day she was given a horoscope to the count, the count of Hungary. I don't know.
Yeah. They have counts. They had counts. Yeah.
Totally. They don't get any more specific than that. And they're like, and she foretold that the wife the pregnant wife of the count would die in childbirth with the baby son, and it would be terrible. And he ordered her to change her prediction, but the cards just told her again and again the same thing.
This is the fate.
Your family's going to die.
Yeah. This is it. You're done.
Yep. And so then they do a line that they call back to later, which I hate, but they're like, the death card can mean the end of something, or it can mean the start of something new. But in this case, it just meant death.
Ooh.
And so they show the wife and mom dying, and the count accuses her of witchcraft. And so then,
like, sliding the cards off the table or something. He's all angry. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Which they like, it's like a Hallmark level, Lifetime level reenactment here.
It's like, why are we doing this? Why are you doing this right now?
It's so bad. And like, what a weird, like this aside in the movie takes probably like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah. Like they had nothing else to fill you. They had nothing else to fill content with
Yep.
here. And it's like, let's just exposition for a long time.
Ridiculous. So then the count wants revenge. And instead of killing the woman that predicted the things, like you would think, because that makes sense.
Right.
He kills her daughter.
Yes. Right.
He's like, you killed my wife and son with your cards, so I'm killing your daughter with a noose.
That's
And they're like,
eye for an eye.
totally fair. And so then they continue. Legend has it she made a dark ritual curse for the tarot deck and bound her soul to the cards when she killed herself. And now there's a death curse on the cards. And so anyone who has their fortunes read by them dies horrible deaths. And so then it shows the count from the trailer. He's the bathtub guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
dying a horrible death.
Trailer, yeah.
Yep, she gets all kind of revenge, and then after all of this, listeners, again, this takes 10 to 15 minutes. This is a long scene.
So long.
Paxton goes, I'm sorry. Are you saying we're cursed?
Oh my
like,
God. What the?
Were you listening? For the love of God.
Get in the car. Paxton, get in the car. Go in the car.
Get in the car.
Just sit. Give me your phone and go sit in the car.
Yeah. And then he's like, what do we do? And then the woman's like, what I should have done a long time ago. Destroy that deck.
They zoom up on her face like, should have destroyed that deck, and just sit in her face for like an extra minute or so.
Why? Why? The movie, I think like the start of this and the premise, like you could have made a good movie, but they just made every wrong decision.
Yes. Yeah. Moving along. Just like, okay. Yeah. So this
is we should focus on.
so at the end of that, that's basically the halfway point. And then we're on our road trip back home.
Back on the road.
Another 4-hour drive, wherever the hell we are. So heading home after all this exposition, and then they're talking about like who's going to die next, right? And
yeah, I hate this part too, because then they just recap all the stuff that's already happened in the movie.
Yeah,
like,
and then
didn't they say something about bridges?
Are we on a bridge?
And like somebody dying on a bridge, and the car stops, and you're like, Audi advertisement.
Yeah. When you're trying to run away from monsters, Audi. But the car just stops on its own, right? And
bad Audi.
Bad Audi. Baddie. And then we get
Didn't you say something about technology failing in your life?
Whoa.
And that like soon it'll all be water under the bridge, and we're on a bridge right now.
Oh no. No.
Stop and then you already said that.
Yes. And he had like that bad Hangman game going, and then
which the ghost doesn't even let them play. Like what kind of game of Hangman? This isn't a Saw movie, clearly.
Yeah.
They just like do it for illustration purposes. Yeah. Like they draw a hangman and then write
run
RUN underneath it. So that's stupid.
What a waste.
Yep.
So then so they start running, right? Or Madeline starts running, because isn't it her? This is her moment,
yep.
Right? And she just starts running down this bridge, which is empty. There's no cars on it. No clue where this is.
That's correct.
And then Haley starts chasing after her, and then the X starts chasing after her. So everyone starts chasing after her. And then
meanwhile in the car, they're getting surrounded by aliens.
Right. Beep, 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 beep. And then Madeline just gets hung, right? Does a noose come down and like catch
more
her?
or less?
There's like a creature.
I could belabor it, but I won't. Yeah, there's a weird golem creature that kind of shows up for no reason, and you're like,
gotcha.
Wait a second. Why? And so he like hooks her with a noose as she's running, and then yoinks her up into the sky, and then drops her down again, and then yoinks her back up, and you're like.
The common theme for how people are getting killed. It's up and down, up and down.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I think
this is for the subway.
Oh yeah, it's just a straight up pit. I think this is the point where I said I wouldn't run on the bridge after you if this was going to happen to us. I think that's
you did say that, and I said I wouldn't run on the bridge for you either. But
I wouldn't want you to. Just stay in the car.
Yeah, we agreed.
Wait till one of us dies so you can just drive away. The car will start up.
That's right.
So then at the end of this whole thing, Paxton's like, I'm out of here. I don't want to do this anymore. He's kind of being...
He's like, what the hell?
Yeah. Being very bullheaded because he's a Taurus.
Like a Taurus.
So he's going to go home alone, which makes no sense. And Ayla 3, there's like 3 of them left now, right? They're like, let's go back to Catskills and find this deck and do what we need to do.
Yeah, which he's pissed about. He's like, that's True Crime 101. You don't go back to where it all started. Like, I'll see you guys later. When you start thinking clearly, you'll know where to find me. At home, safe, because that's where I'm going.
He's like kind of like the what's his face from Scream. You know, he knows all about the movie. Like he's this guy. Yeah, he knows totally. He knows all the podcast crime things, and the guy from Scream knew about all the horror movies and tropes and stuff.
Exactly. Yep. This is the guy.
This is the guy.
So then, except for at this point, Grant is like fully bought in. Like now that a third person is dying, it took 3 of his friends dying in close proximity. For him to finally be like, you know what? Maybe this ghost thing is real.
I think you might be onto something, babe. So then we get Paxton's walking home, and he's there's like we can hear pitter patter footsteps or something like that, and and
we hear laughter, like the jester, perhaps the fool.
Apparently, I was asking about Spider-Man jokes.
Yeah,
I don't remember what Spider-Man jokes was about.
Yeah, I don't know. You just kept saying Spider-Man.
Okay. I wasn't that drunk. I mean, I was drunk, but I wasn't that drunk.
No, I know, but
okay. These are
it's funnier for the
notes.
listeners if we pretend you are.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but you were talking about Spider-Man, and it didn't really make sense. And I was trying to watch the movie, and I was like, all right, whatever, just shut up, dude.
He's in whatever. So he's in the campus. He's in the elevator somewhere. Whatever. He's in an elevator. There's like a long dark hallway. It's all from the trailer, and you see like the little fool thing at the end, and like.
Yeah, before that, they do outside. He sees the fool thing, and that's when he does the spin around the spine thing that killed Glenn.
Oh, right. Yes. Right. Right. So he goes in.
And then he's in an elevator.
Then he realizes his horoscope is coming true, right?
Yep.
And am I there? Or am I...
There's campus security at the building that's just like has a sign that's like, be back in 15 minutes. And you're like, how convenient.
What time is it?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly. And so then elevator opens and closes. They really belabor this scene too. Yeah. It's another one that lasts this is probably almost 10 minutes too. Like the whole movie, listeners, again, is less than an hour and a half without the credits. And it's like weird parts they just extend for way too long. I think again, they're like, well, we paid like the budget was what, $8 million?
Yeah.
Probably $3 million of that went to Jacob Batalon.
Gotta use
I'm
him.
assuming, right?
Gotta have him.
Like we gotta have a famous guy in this movie. Everyone else no one's ever heard of. And so they have to give him this screen time because they thus far have not really. And so he's like in the elevator freaking out, and they open and close the elevator like 20 times, and the fool's like a little bit closer and then a little bit further. And
because
then a little bit closer.
Isn't like he hitting all the numbers like in every floor he comes to, the fool is there. And and he's realizing his horoscope is coming true because he's ascending numbers and boxes in or whatever, boxed in or something like that. So
yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And then like the fool starts talking to him. So it's like the 5th floor, and the fool talks to him in the spooky voice, and he's scared. And then it like breaks into the elevator after the lights all turn red. Remember? It like crashes through the ceiling and like bares its teeth at his face.
Yeah.
And then it cuts away. And we're like, well,
he's dead.
He must be dead.
Right? I threw out the idea. I think early on when the elevator door kept opening and the fool was at the end. I was like, "What if I run at it, like trying to scare?"
You really wanted to run at it.
Yeah, I just wondered, what if I scare it? Like, rawr. So Thais was.
It's a good thought.
Yeah, she said, "Good luck, kid." So.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah, and a little peace emoji. So.
Oh wow. Okay, no, I thought it was a good idea.
Hi again. Hi, Thais here again. The websites on this movie are amazingly shitty. It's like 2003 again. Just throwing that out there.
That's a great point because that's when they. This is this next scene.
Yes.
Good segue, buddy.
See, someone took good notes.
Yep.
Kinda.
Yep. Somebody did. So we cut to the road trip, and they're like talking in the car. They're trying to call Paxton. He's not answering his phone because he's being spooked by the fool. He just saw it.
Yep.
And then they show up at the Catskills house because she booked it. One of the friends booked it again. Like, what? Because Grant's like, how do we even know that we can get into this house? We were there a few days ago for an Airbnb.
Like, what?
Yeah. Okay.
By the way, you can't book for one night. You have to book for like 3 days at minimum or something.
I don't know. And like also that's the logic that this movie is going to die on is like, oh, don't worry. I booked it. Okay, fine.
Okay. Sure. Good. Okay.
And that's when our friend here who's booking the room is also finding random websites. And she's like, guys, I found this random website that tells you how to get rid of a curse. It says you have to destroy the cards. And they're like, that's what the old lady, everyone has said that. We've established that a half an hour ago. For the love of God, why? Why? And then she's like, according to this other website, the best way to destroy things is by burning them.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, it's one of the best ways to destroy anything.
So they throw are we at the point where they throw the cards in the fire here, and then they're like hanging out. They're hanging out.
They don't burn.
They don't burn, but they're like hanging out, cuddling, and watching Snapchats of the weekend or something like that.
That's true? Right. Then they're just like, well, we have this place for the night. I guess we'll just hang out here now.
And then you're like,
why would you do that?
Yeah.
They're like, we need help, so we got to call what's her face.
Yeah, old lady. She shows up and it's come help out the kids because the card's never burned. Bum, bum, bum. And then at this point, I think I thought the woman was the problem, like, or the source of the evil here. But
you did, yeah. Which also would have been a more interesting movie. Good idea.
Yeah.
Also, just a funny throwaway back and forth that they had in the scene when they're all sitting around, like they're sitting around watching the video of the campfire from the beginning of the movie, and Haley literally just says, "I miss everyone." Yeah, all your friends are dead now. Good point. God damn. God, I hate this movie.
Oh my God. So we got the old lady here, the other witch, and then we got then they summon someone, right? The summoner, the astrologer or something. Well, this is where it gets like really
because
off the rails.
She does a bunch more exposition first, where she's just, I'm going to gloss over all of it, but she's like, basically, that woman's a shapeshifter now inside the deck. And so that's how she's turning into all of the cards that are then murdering your friends. And it's a shape-shifting thing. And I don't care about
why does that have to be a thing?
Yeah. So then they do a big ritual where they're trying to summon the spooky witch lady.
Yep.
Turns out she's there.
Yeah. Yep.
And then they do like again, this takes way too long, but she's like trying to ask questions of the spooky witch lady, which
don't ask her questions.
She's not going to answer.
No, no, don't ask her questions. No,
she's like, why did you bind yourself to these cards? Blah blah blah. And she's like, it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Doesn't matter.
Then she starts bleeding out of her nose.
Yeah,
for some reason.
That happens when you're summoning sources of evil.
I guess so. And the kids try to help, but she's like, "Don't cross the line, kids. You can't help me." And then she gets like possessed by the bad witch, and then she's like, "Oh my God, she's stronger than me, and she's reading my horoscope with the cursed cards." And like you can see like her hands are moving, but she's like, "I'm trying not to move my hands." And then she says sorry, and then gets like sucked into the back of the room for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Why? Why is any of this? And so the kids obviously run away because they're like, "Oh my God, our only hope." Gone. And then so I don't know. This is when we both missed it. That when she gets sucked back towards nothing, they show very quickly like the swords card or whatever.
Oh yeah. And I was like surprised, like, why are there swords in her back all of a sudden? Yeah, Taser was just like, Russ missed what cards were pulled. Feel a woman was surprised at why she's got swords in her back.
Yeah. So then, because the kids are running away, and they just like they heave this old lady off of a like balcony above them, and she falls on the floor with a bunch of swords in her, and we're all like, "What? Why?"
Oh my God! So then we got a girl in the basement, right? And I'm like, oh, this is
Well, this is when we split up. We inadvertently split up. Grant and Haley are together, and was it Paige?
Madeline.
Yeah. No, it's Paige.
Oh, Madeline
died on the bridge.
Oh, that's right. Madeline's yes, it's Paige. Yeah. Yep.
Yep. So Paige ends up in the basement somehow.
Don't go
to the basement.
Don't go back to the basement. Just go home. Get in your car. Go home.
It said keep out.
Like. You done messed up because the sign said keep out, but you went in there anyway. So it's your fault, really. So she's down in the basement, right? And the lights break, and this is a magician because she pulled a magician, right?
Yeah, exactly. The light flickers and then explodes in her eyes. You're like, wait, what? And then she's like, it's like, again, because they beat us over the head with everything in this movie. They do like voiceover flashback of the magician makes you not see clearly, and you're like.
So she so it blinds her, but I remember she like started moving around, and I think this was a safety tip somewhere in there, maybe, right? If your eyes are all messed up.
Yeah, you said there was, and I forgot immediately.
Yeah, I think it's if you're blinded.
You remember?
Yeah, don't start moving around. Don't move if your eyes are all messed up. So
yeah, I think it's 136.
One of those lines, right?
If you're temporarily blinded, stay put.
Stay put. Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Then David Blaine shows up, the magician here, and she's like trying to hide, and she gets into the magician's crate, which is That's just a life safety tip. Don't get in a magician's box. Don't never do that, right?
Yeah, they do some cool. Sorry, just while she had glass in her eyes, I did enjoy it when they did like the POV shots with their fucked up vision.
Yeah,
that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was kind of fun.
Yeah, that's fine.
And that's when she gets on the stage with the guy. Then she climbs into his trunk, and of course they belabor this too.
I know, like, and
obviously he's gonna jump scare us. Why does it have to take 10 minutes?
This is from the trailer too, where she's looking through the keyhole and you get a little jump scare, and he's got a saw. And I made a comment apparently about how drawn out these deaths are getting. Saws going in and out and in and out, and you guessed it, out. And the crate is being cranked up close to make the tighter inside, so we can see. He's beginning to saw her in half. Never get inside of a magician's box, because this will happen. So,
speaking of things you shouldn't do. I've got another random divination fact for you.
Sure. Hit me.
I'm remembering this episode. So apparently pirates.
Do you need to do a little disclaimer here about where you found these little fun facts?
Yes, I do, because they get funnier at some point.
Okay.
So listeners, everything I might be saying, or everything I am saying, might be a lie.
But we're going to continue to call it Fun Facts with Jared.
That's right. Today I was feeling a little lazy, and so I just asked ChatGPT to give me some fun and interesting facts about divination. So one of them is definitely a lie.
What could possibly go wrong? And go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'll do the one that's definitely a lie. So before we talk about pirates later. So in Victorian London, a quirky fortune teller named Mrs. Priscilla Pince.
Okay.
Good start.
Yep. All right.
Used a large pin cushion as a divination tool. So clients would place their hands on the pins, and the pressure points were interpreted to reveal their future. And Mrs. Pince's method became a local sensation, attracting curious onlookers and skeptics alike. Her pin cushion fortunes often included humorous predictions, and this is how you know it's a lie, such as, "You will soon step on a Lego brick."
Oh my God.
So thanks, ChatGPT.
Well done, AI.
I needed that.
You're just crushing it here. I think I also commented on how I think the sawing in half scene would have been better and scarier if they actually just showed it. Make this rated R and just give us that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely that. And they could have shortened it way up, because they super draw it out. Like the box has to shrink and she's screaming. And then they get a quick flash of the other teens. Grant and Haley are in a room upstairs somehow with a vent that is connected exactly to where their friend is dying.
House
and
of
they
Horrors.
Have to listen to her scream and die. And so Grant and Haley are like crying and sad in the other room now. And that's when we cut to them being crying and sad in the other room now, where they're like, "We're not getting out of here, are we?" And then you were so mad, and so was I at this part.
There's a note.
Remember that night we first met?
We shouldn't be together. And Thais took a note. Russ is ready to throw his beer at the TV. He's ready to flip a table.
That's right.
That tracks.
Yeah. Remember that night we first met? I asked the stars if we should be together. And it said yes. I can't remember what it said. It was either yes or no, obviously.
Yeah.
And then she's like, and then I did one again recently after we'd been together for like 6 years. And the reading was the same. So maybe we were cursed from the start. It must have been no. It must have been like, no, you shouldn't be together. Which then they're still going to be together at the end, because it's that kind of movie.
Because there is no fate. It's just,
But anyway, so Haley's like, wait a second, I've got an idea. What if we do a reverse Uno and we read the horoscope of the spooky witch,
the astrologer lady? Yep.
And since it's cursed, that means that she'll have to die from the thing. And Grant's like, what? He's like, all right, I was bought in. I was skeptical at first, then I got bought in, and now I'm skeptical again. And Haley's like, well, all I know is my mom never stopped fighting cancer, so we should never stop fighting the spooky witch.
Oh my God. Yeah. And this is, I guess, right. I think I left you guys. Thais wrote, Russ is dead at this point. He's gone. He left us, followed by wind and poop emojis and a scary face and more poop emojis and more wind, and then dead.
That was you farting. Yeah.
Yeah. Skull thing. So.
Yep. So then that's when the window smashes behind them. They're sitting on the
Ugh.
floor, and Grant gets yoinked
Pull
out the window.
by death, right? That's right.
Yeah, wicked funny. And then yeah, the death witch creature, whatever thing, shows up and starts like slowly walking around the room, and she's like,
She's like hiding
and
in
she
the
starts
closet,
running
right?
around.
She's
Yes,
like
yes.
hiding in the closet, like, you fix, yeah, you outwitted death.
Well, she runs around the whole house first and ends up hiding in the closet, which is silly because obviously it finds her, and then chases her around the house more, and finally catches her because it's moving very slowly and like strangles her a little bit.
Yeah, it's got her.
And then
her.
who shows up to save the day? It's Grant with a fire poker that he, instead of trying to impale the monster, which I think is what I would have done,
Yeah,
he just kind of hits it on the back,
that's.
which works.
I don't know. I've never fought death before, so I don't know.
Fair enough. I fight death every day. And then, so then he gets like kind of like knocked out by this situation.
And he's like
she
getting
runs away
dragged into
again.
hell by like these other demons or something, like grabbing onto. Remember that, like dragging him across the floor or something, right?
He gets dragged to the door to hell
Right.
by death, and then left at the door and not into hell for some stupid reason.
Yeah.
And then Death gets bored or distracted and goes to find Haley again for some reason.
Apparently,
and
I was ranting some bullshit at this point. So
yeah, that sounds right. And then meanwhile, Haley is like setting up the cards again. And she's like, I have to read the cards. I have to hurry. And that's when Death's like trying to go get her.
Yep.
And she basically starts screaming at Death, like, all your cards are reversed. And you're like, no, we don't know what that means.
Yeah, you've explained everything else but that. So
Yes, it's like, who cares? Like, and then she starts like trying to talk down the witch thing where she's like, you're hurt, but you just won't allow yourself to heal. I know what it's like to have someone taken from you. And you're like, stop bringing up your dead mom again.
yeah, like no one cares, man.
Unrelated.
No
Her daughter was murdered.
Yeah, no one cares.
Completely different situations. So obviously the witch is like, not cool, start strangling her again.
Yeah.
And then somehow Grant like wakes up, and that's when he gets like kind of dragged more by the demons, and you're like, oh no, he's getting dragged into hell. And then it like everything just kind of ends because like,
well, she read for the astrologer, and the astrologer gets sucked into like something, right? And
exactly, it takes like 10 more minutes
and disappears.
There's like a witch tornado that shows up, and it's like the whole
Twister's hair. But she takes the main girl's hospital bracelet thing that was for her mom, the cancer bracelet, right?
That's right. An eye for an eye or something.
That was a foreshadowed. Jared, did you get it?
She does this.
That was in here. That's the notes here. So that was a foreshadowed. Jared, did you get it? Yeah.
And I said, yeah. Because I think Tay said that out loud. I think Tay was like, Jared, did you get it? And I was like, yeah.
Yep.
So she does the line again from the beginning when she does like the death can mean the start or the end of something. But in your case, it just means death as the thing's dying. And then that's when they do a bunch of flashbacks again during this whole death scene. Like it's still going, even though at this point, the witch is dying. They're doing like showing the daughter and they're showing the cancer mom and they're showing the full moon for some reason that only appears in order to kill the witch. And then I was like, wait a second, is the moon a factor now too? Like, what's happening?
What is
and then they show the witch young again and like blows out a candle in the room with them, which is maybe her life.
Yeah.
And then they show the mom and daughter like walking together in the woods. And then Grant and Haley are like, it's okay now. And then the death card burns. Sorry. And that's the end of that scene, which is as chaotic and ridiculous as it sounds.
Yes. So then they just...
You think it's over, but it's not.
It's not. No. They make it out alive, and they're just walking down a street or something? Or like,
in the Catskills.
In the Catskills, just walking, right?
Because they don't have a car for some reason anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe Paige had the keys. I don't know.
But then...
They don't explain why they don't have a car at this point.
Then a car does pull up.
Yep.
And it just happens to be...
car.
It just happens to be Paxton.
Yep. It's like the end of Get Out if this was a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
But
so it's Paxton, and it's, hey. Yeah.
He's like, He's like, let's get you guys out of here right now. Wait a second. Where's Paige? And
Where's
then
all
they
our
all
friends?
have like a quick moment and they're like, all right, well, let's go.
I guess go. It's
And so
just,
they do a sunrise transition with a road trip again, little driving montage, and like they're just recapping what all happened in the movie. They're like,
yeah.
"Wait a second. So you tried to read the thing, and you got that woman to go back to the thing with you to destroy the thing, and then Paige ended up getting killed by the magician, and then
Oh.
and they're like, "Yep, that was what just happened over the last 20 minutes." And then they're like, "But it's not going to bring our friends back."
Aw.
And then they're like, wait, but how do we know this is even over? A hint at a sequel, possibly. And Haley's like, oh, Grant just says, Haley broke the curse. And he goes, it's definitely over now. And Haley goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, and then
Yep.
we change fate. And Haley goes, fuck fate.
Is that the actual?
Which, again,
Oh,
you would
not
think
that.
it's over.
Yeah, no.
It's not.
That would have been a great last line of a movie. Yes.
Yes.
Bad.
Like, then it would be
bad,
like Final
but,
Destination or something.
bad, but
Yeah.
great, you know? Yeah.
Yes, totally. Nope. It gets worse because then they're like, still haven't given Jacob Batalon enough
No,
screen time.
Yeah, he's going to get a little more. Hey,
Yeah,
how'd
we
you
need
get on the
him in
elevator?
the movie more.
How'd you get on the elevator, anyways?
Yeah, wait a second. And he's like, well, guys, I outfooled the fool. And he's like, which you're like, oh, okay. So it's funny that he's like still telling a lie. That's in character for him. And then he's like, just kidding. My roommate showed up. And then they show it.
And you're like, what?
And then they all laugh. And that's the end. like all your friends are dead. Like, what are you like? There's nothing to laugh about. Like, what are you? What the? I'm so mad.
Oh my goodness. That is hey.
Yeah, fuck fate would have been a cool end.
Oh my god. That is and then that's it. And then I got more emojis. Gas, shit emojis, poop emojis, yep. And death emojis. Yeah. So
and a little symbol in there for a horoscope
Taurus.
that I don't know that one.
That's a horoscope.
That's a Taurus
thing.
symbol?
I don't know what that is. No, it's just horoscope thing or whatever. Yeah.
I'm
Cool.
just assuming.
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
You Scorpio like Glenn probably.
Ugh. Glenn. All right, so that's the end of that movie. Do you want to ameliorate real quick on this one?
Do I ever? Don't make this movie.
Yeah. Ditch the whole stupid cursed backstory thing. Just ditch it. You don't need it. You can still make this like a breakup movie. If you want to make this a little breakup thing, you can keep doing that and focus on that and use tarot cards as like kind of a thing that brings them together. Sure, I'm fine with that, but you don't need this whole like flashback scenery and like why the cards are cursed. Just make them cursed. You don't have to have that explained to us. Just make this a supernatural thing that just happens. That's it.
Make the witch the villain. Make all those incidents like the murder incidents where she murdered all those people.
Yeah.
And like, cool. That's a cool story.
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe make our Alma here lady, make her more involved with it. Maybe she's the one.
That's what I was talking about. Make her the murderer. Yeah.
Oh, the witch. Okay. I thought you were talking about the other thing.
The other witch. No. I mean, Alma, who's also a witch. Let's be real.
They're all witches, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah, I think time. An hour and a half is solid. That's perfect. Nothing more there. Yep. Make the death scenes like, I don't know, better.
Make them gory. I feel like gory would be fun. Like make the movie rated R. That would have been more fun.
Yeah, make it rated R. I mean, they're aiming. It's a young adult. They're aiming for that. So,
make the jokes funny.
I mean, yep.
Write a funny bit. Like I think Tice was convinced that this was billed as a horror comedy. I don't know. Like on Netflix, it just says horror, and there's nothing intentionally funny about this movie.
No,
like it's not Scream for sure.
No, it definitely isn't. And I don't know. Yeah, it's weird because sometimes it feels like the tone of it is like trying to be funny, but it's not. I don't know. So
make all the main characters die. That would have been cool.
Yeah, kill all of them.
I like movies where that happens.
Maybe make them a little more interesting too. I guess not just one-dimensional little characters we're going to kill off every 10 minutes.
Then we would have had to have a 2-hour movie. We would have gotten more cancer backstory.
Oh, we don't need more cancer backstory. Yeah, we don't always have to have the dead mom tropey tie-in either. We don't need that.
Yeah, a lot of dead mom movies lately.
I know, right? That's
dead dad, but
that's how they give their female characters, some motivation is the dead mom trope. So
yeah, silly. It's all just silly.
Silly.
Like or make it sillier. Make it sillier. That would be fun.
As we said before, lean into the silly. If you know you can't hit this right, lean into the silly.
Yep. Like, do you like when they're doing the witch backstory, the bad witch that Alma is telling? Like, do it with puppets or something. Like that would have been fun, right?
Like marionette puppets.
Yeah, like I don't like it. Like in the last Harry Potter movie, there when they're doing the Deathly Hallows thing or whatever, and they like do like a weird puppet show in the middle of the movie. They're like, "This is a Harry Potter movie. Why are we doing this?
What is happening right now?"
yeah, do that. That's fun. Something silly.
I don't know. Outside of that, I think that's good, right?
Yeah, I think we fixed it.
I think we fixed it. All right, cool. Well, thanks for listening and thanks for joining us. We'll be back next week with a new movie and trailer trash. In the meantime, you follow us on Instagram at It's This Meets That. Subscribe if you're listening to podcasts that says to auto download. And if you have friends, share it with them.
And if you don't have friends yet, try to make one online with a stranger by writing a review.
Yeah.
That's how people make friends.
I think so.
Right?
Yes. So we became friends.
Yeah, that's right. I left a 5-star review on how to made.
Yep. And I was like,
enemy of the pod, bleep that out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were like, oh man, I love that podcast too, in the comments.
Yeah.
And then we just met up and
became friends. That was it.
Yep. That's the backstory.
Here we are.
Here we are now. So you can do that too. Make a friend, write a review, or send us an email. Make friends with us. We like emails because we read them in Trailer Trash. You know that.
We like
you
friends.
would if you wrote an email.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We like friends very much. Yep. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com, or just go to the website. You forgot everything that both of us just said. You kind of zoned out when Russ starts talking. I get it.
I zone out when I start talking.
That's right. You got all the old episodes, 300 episodes of us zoning out and talking, hours and hours and hours. We got merch. Click on the link, get a t-shirt, do all that fun stuff. There's no information about Russ's book Host, but you should buy it anyway, wherever you can buy books. And if you don't want to do any of that, just go to itsthismeetsthat.com. Please, I beg.